Guys, welcome to the Athfix. Today I am going to discuss about classes and objects in the Python. When I say classes and objects, these are characteristics of object-oriented programming. For example, Java, C++, and C Sharp and Python, these are examples of object-oriented programming. There are almost five categories of programming languages which we use. First comes the machine level languages. Machine level languages are actually in the format of binary 0, 1, 1, 0. These are machine level. Then comes assembly level language. These type of languages we use in designing of the processors, and we will give instructions in the assembly level language. After that, there comes high level language. High level languages are actually human readable. Actually, humans can able to read the high level language, which are actually in the format of printf and scanf and percentage %d, which actually represent the integers, numbers. We can able to read those high level languages. After the high level language, there comes a language which is called as object oriented, in which you can able to store the objects. Yes, the objects like a name, you can able to store the age, and you can actually able to store your email and your string all together into one site, and you can able to access that. And high level languages are actually demanded languages in actual today's world, because today's world is driven by the data, and to access data and update data and create the data, you actually need these type of languages. After that, we come up with the natural level language. A natural level language, just like Alexa, the speech recognition machine, in which it is going to recognize our speech using AI. It is going to give us answers. These are actually natural level language. Well, now I'm going to discuss about the objects. When I talk about the objects in the object-oriented programming, these are nothing but a physical entity that can be defined with a state, attribute, and behavior. What do you mean by that? For example, if you take the dog, the animal, as an object, here the name of the dog. For example, the dog is itself a name of an object that defines the state. The state is with the dog name, and we have the attributes. For example, a dog is defined with a four-legged animal that has two eyes. Apart from that, the breed of that dog and the color of that dog, these all the characteristics of a dog come under the attributes. And after that, we have the behavior. Whether the dog is sleeping, whether the dog is barking, whether the dog is eating, these come under the behavior, and these all the things contribute to an object. And you can take any example. For example, if you take an table is an object that has a four leg and it has a flat surface, and that define the table. The name table defines the state of an object. Apart from that, attribute includes the four legs and the flat surface made of might be a glass or the wood or any kind of a material, and that defines the attributes of the table. Apart from that, when we call about the behavior, it doesn't have any behavior. We can able to put the table in any of the flat surface, so that we can work on that. We can able to keep our objects on that considered to be a behavior, and these all things contribute to an object. I repeat, an object is a physical entity that can be defined with a state, attribute, and behavior. State means the name of the object, and attributes mean the characters of the object, and the behavior means what actually the object is doing that define an object. And this is an important concept in the object oriented programming. And next, coming to the classes. When I talk about the classes are nothing but the blueprint, or you can say a template to create an object. For example, if you have a object that is a dog is name of an object or the animal, and the characteristics of a dog includes the four legs and the color and the breed. These define the attributes or the characters of a dog. Apart from that, it has a behavior, like it can able to bark, and it can able to eat, it can able to sleep, and these constitute the behavior of an object. And we can in the class we can able to create such objects. For example, when I say class name, this is a name of an object. When I say class name, the name can be anything, like the name can be a dog or the table, and you can able to add here. And this define init is a constructor that is present in the class. Means this is gonna initialize, okay, these are the characteristics of an object, that is done by this function. For example, when I say, take an example, dog has a four legs. I am going to pass that it has a four legs, its color is this, and uh, its breed is this. When I pass this, it is going to initialize, okay, the breed of that dog is German Shepherd, and apart from that, color is black, and it has a four leg. It is going to be initialized by this constructor function. It is present in every programming language, I mean the object oriented programming language. Apart from that, we have the define hello. This is just like a behavior. We are done with the state, that is name, and we are done with the characters, that are the attributes, and we have last option, that is a behavior. In the behavior, we are not gonna it is not that complex. It is nothing but a small function, what we call as a method. It is a small function that is going to be executed when we require, and this small function is nothing but a behavior. It is gonna define, for example, if we take a dog here, dog has a characters like a breed, color, and those all things. Whether the dog is barking or sleeping, or it is eating, it is defined with this function. And these functions in the classes are also termed as a methods. And here I have took an example. Here I want to create a person's name, and I want to say hello, and we gonna pass a string value to here, because whenever we take example of name, it is a string. Here we are going to take a variable new class. You can take anything, xyz, anything, and we gonna initialize with the class name. Here we have took a class name as a name. You can take anything. Here I took name, therefore I am calling this name with a string. This string is constructed here using the define init function. This alone is passed through here. It is gonna initialize that the name of that person which we are creating, his name is alone, is initialized here. And this hello function, when we call new class, when we call using this variable dot the function that is present in this class, it is going to say hello alone, because we have said self dot name, because it is gonna define that the class has called with some of the name called alone, and you have to use this alone to say hello, and you have to say hello alone. And this is how we are gonna use the classes in the object oriented programming. Declare the class. Classes are declared using the keyword class, and we are going to mention the keyword, means the name for the class. The name for the class will be, I just add a new class, and after that I am going to assign a value x equal to 5, and after that I am going to add a print statement. In the print statement I am going to add new class dot x, and just save it and run the program. When we do like this, we can able to access the value of x, which is actually 5. As you can have a look at here, we got our answer as a 5, and we got our answer as a 5, and we got our answer as a 5. Why? Because x is assigned with the value 5. Here x is actually the property, and 5 is the value, and we are able to access those values using the class. And here you can able to create unlimited objects using the class, and you can able to access those all things. Classes which we have already discussed, in which we have class keyword and the class name and object in it. It's not actually useful in the in application level. Means the applications which we designed like Django, Flutter, it's not actually useful. For such cases we use an init function. Whenever we use init function, it is going to say that this particular properties which we are sending is actually belongs to this function. For example, here I am going to discuss that. First of all, I am going to write a define function, a class, and I am going to give new object the name, and after the name I am going to give a define function with init, and after that we are going to give a self. I will tell you why the self is actually user, and I am going to use the name, and I am going to use the age, and after that I am going to use self dot name equal to name, and after that I am going to use self dot age equal to age, and here after this thing I am going to create p equal to new object, and here I am going to give the name alone, and age around 40, and I just save it, and I am going to add the print statement. Here I am going to add a p dot name. Well, what I have actually done, first of all, here I have created a class, the class with a class name new object, which is actually new obj, and here we have the define function in which we have used init, and we have the self and name and age. Actually we have two parameters, name and age, and actually there are only two parameters, name and age. Self is actually to define that this particular object what we are creating is actually belongs to the new object. Means whenever we use new object has some name and age, which it is going to assign with the values which we are passing. If we are passing alone, alone is assigned with the name using the self. Means whenever we use define init and say that self name age, name and age are actually the parameter which you are passing, and the self is going to assign that the new object which you are sending into this particular new object, it is assigned with this name and this age property. And you are getting the thing that whenever we pass p equal to new object alone mask, this alone is passed and assigned with the name property, and this 40 is assigned with age property, and we have key value pairs. Means with the name we have alone, with the age we have the 40, and whenever we call p dot name and I just save it, run it, we are going to get the answer as alone. As you know, we got answer as alone, and here I will rediscuss it in a nutshell, that classes are the object constructor. Here we have the class with the class name, and here we have used define function with init value. Whenever we use init value, it is going to assign the values. Means whenever we give any value or pass any value, if we use init, it is going to be assigned with the new key value pairs. Here self is going to define that this whatever object which we are passing actually belongs to this class new obj, and it is going to create a new object under the p. Therefore whenever we call p dot name, we got alone mask, and this is how we are going to go with actually the creation of object using the class. Here it is not mandatory that you have to use name, age and self. You can use any keyword which you want. Instead of self, you can use a k and assign here k. Whatever the first argument which you are passing into this define init function, it is going to be proving that this particular object which you are creating, it is with respect to the new object. Means whatever alone or 40 we are passing, it is with respect to this new object, and the name age which you are passing actually assigned with this property name and this property age, and here we can use any of the character which are apart from self and name. And after this we have successfully done with the class name, and we are successfully done with the attributes or the constructor function. Now we are going to discuss about the behavior, that is actually the function inside a class, and it is also termed as a method. Here I have said that define say hello, and it is going to access the self. I mean, it is going to access those all the characters or all the attributes that are related with the new object alone and 40. It is going to access the alone and the 40, and it is going to return hello self dot name. Self dot name means the alone. It is going to say hello alone when I call that particular function. You need to call that particular function using first you need to assign the class, and class has some of the attributes. After that you need to call the variable like p that is with assigned with the class name, and you need to say p dot say hello. When you say like this, it is going to give you the output hello Alon, and this is how we are gonna use the functions in the class. And functions in the class are termed as a methods, and this is how we gonna use those all things. As you can have a look at here, we got a hello Alon, and this is all about it. Well, actually we got our answer whenever we have created the objects. For example, here we have created a p equal to new object Alon and 22. Here new object is a class, and Alon and 22 are passed into this particular defined function in it, and they are going to assign name equal to Alon and age equal to 22, and in which here name is property and age is also property. Alon and 22 are the values. We have successfully created a new object which is with the name of p, and whenever we say name dot p dot name, we are going to get Alon. But at the same mode of time, we can able to delete that particular property. For example, here if I say delete p dot name, and in the next statement I say p dot print p dot name, and I just save it, run it, you are not going to get the answer. You are going to get that it doesn't exist. As you got it, exception has occurred. New object has no attribute value name, because we have successfully deleted using the delete keyword. Delete keyword is meant for that, and this is how we can able to create the object, we can able to delete the object, and we can able to use a class as an object constructor. This is all about it. Well, do subscribe our channel for regular updates. Thank you.